Welcome to the United Stand. Gareth Bale has given a transfer update, but not only Bale, his agent's given a transfer update as well. You don't normally get them both. We don't have to live off headlines or credible sources. Straight from Bale and his agent's mouth. We'll be talking about that. Also, very interesting thing going on with United fans. Not saying that Alderweireld or Harry Maguire will come to United, but the split between fans as to who would have what and who would have the other, I think is an interesting thing we'll discuss. And also, this will probably worry some people about Manchester United's transfer activity, and those who say we're not going to do any business will be probably quite happy about it. So, very interesting little bit of research I've done, which probably shows we're not going to sign anyone for another 3 weeks. But we'll talk about that in a little bit. Let's start off with Gareth Bale. He was speaking today. I think he's got a pub in Wales, and he was asked about his future at Real Madrid there, and basically reiterated, remember there has been a few weeks between the Champions League final and now, obviously, and after the Champions League final he mentioned being frustrated at the lack of first team opportunities and having to discuss his future. Well, he's come out today and he said similar sort of things again. I need more minutes, and I was frustrated last season. So Bale, by no means coming out and being positive around Real Madrid. Time has not been a great healer. He's still saying he's frustrated. He's still saying he needs more minutes. There still is going to be this chat with the new manager of Real Madrid to establish what the future is going to be. And very interesting about Real Madrid, I was talking about this on That's Football earlier. 4 weeks tonight, Devil's Ace, you're right. 4 weeks tonight will be 5 minutes into our game against Leicester. Crazy, isn't it? 4 weeks. We'll come back to that later in the show because I've got a theory there based on research that is quite concerning about transfers. But Real Madrid have released another statement today. They're doing this via Twitter, and they're basically saying there's no deal in place for Neymar, but they've done this twice now, and they've done it about Mbappe. I think they doth protest too much, methinks, and I think that Neymar will be going to Real Madrid, and I think if Neymar goes to Real Madrid, that won't fit in with Bale at all, because Bale won't be the star, and I don't think Real Madrid are going to go with Bale as the star. So I still think there's an opportunity there that Gareth Bale will leave Real Madrid. It's a dangerous opportunity for Manchester United, though. I wouldn't want to make that plunge to say that Manchester United are going to sign Bale. Also, his agent has come out and said that, and this was a couple of days ago to ESPN FC, I think it was, and he basically came out and said that there's talks are still required, negotiations are still required on Gareth Bale's future. And this was in response to some local reports around Real Madrid that those talks weren't required now because Ronaldo had left. And his agent basically coming out and saying that Bale's decision will be made after those talks, and that Ronaldo leaving changes nothing about those talks either. So clarification a little bit there that Bale and his agent both saying that those talks will still take place, that Ronaldo's exit doesn't change anything, and the decision will be made afterwards. Now, whether Manchester United really are waiting in the wings, I don't know. I mean, the Ronaldo thing was interesting, wasn't it? For years and years, we've been linked with Ronaldo. He finally leaves and we do nothing. For years and years, we've been linked with Bale. Apparently, we've tried to get Bale, but has it ever been confirmed by anybody? No, it hasn't. And if Bale does leave Real Madrid, does that mean Manchester United are going to go and do this deal? I think we like to believe it. I like to believe it as well. I like to think that we've prioritised Gareth Bale, and that's why we didn't go for Cristiano Ronaldo. But it could be the other side of the coin, which is Manchester United have got a set amount of money to spend, £150 million, and some of that's been spent on Fred and Dalot, which leaves about £70 million to get a centre-back, which is what Jose Mourinho wants, and that's the end of it. We haven't got the funds for Ronaldo or Bale, and that's not part of the plan. That is my fear. And also, Gareth Bale spoke very positively about Bayern Munich a couple of months before the end of the season as well. So why, if Juventus can take Ronaldo, why can't Bayern Munich come in and get Gareth Bale? And that, I think that would suit Real Madrid. If they are looking to get Neymar, they're going to probably want to move Ronaldo on's always on, Bale on, get Neymar, and still have a little bit of their transfer budget to maybe get Milinkovic-Savic as well. So Manchester United, we could well be sat here in 4 weeks going, well, Ronaldo left, Bale left, Milinkovic-Savic left, and we got none of them. But we did get Fred, we did get Dalot, and we did get a centre-back. So let's take some of your comments, then we'll talk about that centre-back thing. Please do smash the like button. Red Devils TV is quoting my 150 crosses from Perisic, which I was speaking about earlier. We did do a video earlier on about Perisic and these advanced talks. I don't think there's anything in it, but he did put in over 150 crosses last season. It was over it. Just joined. What did I miss? Says Charles B. You've got to be on time. I know I'm never on. You've got to be on time. We're talking about Bale. Bale's come out and said that his decision will not be based upon that. Just go and check it's okay. Yeah, just go and check it's okay. So yeah, that's about that. So what about Gareth Bale and his agent coming out and saying that there will be some business done with Real Madrid and talks will be clarified in the future, and that Ronaldo's decision doesn't change that. So potentially Manchester United could still be involved in it. I'm not too sure whether they will be. Not too sure. Not a centre-back. We need a left-back, says Ethan Porter. And let me come to that point then, Ethan. And Bale's come out, says Mini Diver. Yeah, I got a bit flustered there because somebody came in asking me something. Harry Maguire would be great. He impressed me, says Jared Pesson. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Is it fine now? Yeah. And problem is, Qatari backed Neymar. They will look stupid if they let him go. It won't happen, says Archie. Politically, Neymar and Real Madrid can sort itself out, can't they? But Manchester United is what we're concerned about. I did read something in the Manchester Evening News just before I came live, actually, and it was an observation. It's not about a signing, so I can certainly mention it. And basically, they were saying that Fred could be the missing piece of the jigsaw for Manchester United. And I think Fred's going to be an important signing, but it made me think, when you're a kid and you get a jigsaw out, and because you found a missing piece, then you go to get the jigsaw out and you realise there's loads of pieces missing. When you last had it, there was one piece missing, but somewhere, since it's gone back in its box, loads of more pieces have gone missing. That's how I feel about that statement that Fred's the missing piece of the jigsaw for Manchester United, because there's so many other missing pieces, and over the summer I think we're losing more because we're just standing still, aren't we? Other teams are making progress and they're standing still. So that's what I think about that. Can you look? 1 minute, I'm live. I'm just gonna have to pop and do something. I won't be a moment. Where am I? I'll be 1 minute. Right. And we're back in the room. Sorry about that. I had to go and sort something out. Anyway, this is live TV. This is what happens. So, we were talking about Fred being the missing piece. I think there's many missing pieces at Manchester United. And I think we've got to do things. I mean, there was a tweet this afternoon from Manchester United's Twitter account saying final preparations for the US tour. I mean, final preparations, it got people into a meltdown about whether that means that we're not signing anybody before the US tour. I just want to read something out to you that I checked before. Lukaku was signed on the 10th of July, and then we didn't make another signing until the 31st of July, pretty much when we got back from the US tour. So no signing on the US tour, and only one more after the 13th of July, which it is today. That was last year. The last person we sold last year was Janusaj on the 12th. Then the season before, the Mkhitaryan was signed on the 6th of July. We didn't make any more signings until the 8th of August, which was Paul Pogba. No signing on the US tour. And then the season before that, we made one signing after this date, which was Romero on the 27th of July, and then we signed Martial on the 1st of September, right at the end. But for the last 3 years, we've not signed a player when we've been on the US tour, and from this date, we've only signed one player. Manchester United traditionally have done their business by this point. So that's two things really, isn't it? It's like, well, that's a good thing and it's a bad thing, because it's like, well, are we going to do some business because we've normally done it all by now? Or are we going to go with tradition and not do a lot? Andrew Rossi's made a contribution, thank you. He says, if we sit around and wait for Bale, we'll be disappointed yet again. Need to learn lessons from previous attempts. Keep filling spots and if Bale comes, great. If we sit around and wait for Bale, we will be disappointed yet again. Need to learn lessons from previous attempts. Keep filling spots of need, and if Bale comes, great. Yeah, but we're not filling those spots of need, are we? That's the problem. That's what people are getting frustrated about. We're not filling those spots of need. And as I said a couple of weeks ago, when Gareth Bale comes out and says that, you've got something to work with. When his agent comes out and says what he said, that we still need to negotiate, Ronaldo leaving doesn't change anything, we'll make a decision after the negotiations. Bale's still saying he's frustrated and he needs those talks. So Bale could leave Real Madrid. But the problem with Manchester United is that we still haven't done the deals. We've still not done any deals, and that is the thing that's the problem with Manchester United. But you get it from the horse's mouth with Bale and his agent. But as I said a couple of weeks ago, with Jose Mourinho, we've had it from the horse's mouth as well. We've had Jose Mourinho saying 3 times since January that I'm happy with what we've got. I'm happy with what we've got. I'm only going to make 3 signings in January. When Sanchez is here, that means I'm only signing 2. He also spoke about evolving his current squad. He also spoke about only needing 1 or 2 players. It is concerning. It is concerning when you start looking back at what I said 2 weeks ago, that summary of what Jose Mourinho said. It is concerning when you see Luke Shaw smiling and looking happy and giving away shirts and everyone's saying, go for it, Luke. And maybe we're not signing a left back. Maybe we're just going to go with Young and we're going to go with Shaw. That's title over. That is title over, because it will always be Ashley Young. It will never be Luke Shaw. So that is a massive concern as well. The midfield. I mean, Fred helps the midfield, but you've still got Fellaini in there. You've still got the Pogba thing to be solved. I mean, he's playing fantastic for France. Nowhere near that for Manchester United. Matic is a year older. Herrera, is he going to be good or is he going to be inconsistent? Mata, as we move into the attack. McTominay, is he anywhere near ready to be a first teamer? Some people think he's never going to be good enough, but I certainly don't think he's been given enough games. Moving to the attack, you've got Mata, a year older and wasn't getting games at the end of last season. You've got Lingard, who could be burnt out from the World Cup and tired, and can he go on from what he did last season? You've got Rashford, who had a bad season and was a bit hit and miss for England in the World Cup. You've got Martial, is he going to stay? Is he going to go? You've got Alexis Sanchez, who's been a bad signing, but he's got a summer off. He could be great again. You've got Lukaku with the same problem as Lingard. Is he going to burn out? Is he going to go on to the next level? Is that enough? And then you've got a sprinkling of youth players that, yeah, it's very exciting, but when has Mourinho ever integrated more than one of them? So I think Manchester United, when we went into this summer transfer window, we went into it knowing that we needed a left back, we needed 2 midfielders, we needed a right midfielder, and we needed a centre-back. We needed 5 signings, and we needed to get rid of Blind, Darmian, Fellaini and Jones for me. 5 in, 4 out. Well, Fellaini's staying, so we don't need to do that deal. We did it. Darmian and Blind haven't gone yet. I think they will go. I don't think Jones is going to go. I don't think Smalling's going to go. So Darmian and Blind will go. That's 2. As for people coming in, it might only be 1 now. We might only get a centre-back. We might only get a left-back. I believe we'll get 2. But we've got 4 weeks to get this business done. 4 weeks. And that's the problem. That really is the problem, isn't it? Thanks for deleting that idiot snaps. I can't be bothered. I can't be bothered to even acknowledge those sort of people anymore. All I would say is, if you don't like a fan channel, don't bloody watch a fan channel. Sky Sports, BT, Teletext, whatever. Get out there and get neutral news wherever you want to get it. If you want a fan channel, you're going to get opinion. If you don't like what people are saying in the live comments, don't bloody watch it. If you don't like how we present it, don't watch it. It's called democracy. It's really free and easy. Just, come on. Is it a positive sign that Jose is investing in our younger squad rather than buying a short-term time replacement, says Stewie. Where's the evidence of this, Stewie? I've read about this. Where's the evidence that Mourinho's investing in the youth squad? He's not investing in the youth squad. He's not investing in the youth squad. Manchester United have been buying youth players of about 15, 16, 17 for the last 4 or 5 years. It started with Van Gaal and it's continued. It's not Jose Mourinho's philosophy to do that. And as for all the investment, where are the players coming into the first team? The only reason we're taking a number of youth players on the US tour, and it's exciting, is because so many of our first team have been in the World Cup or on holiday. He wouldn't be taken anywhere near that. It's only to fulfil the fact that we need to take 20 players on tour that we are taking Mason Greenwood and Angel Gomez. to Heath Chong, which is really exciting. I can't wait to see them. But would he normally take them? I don't think so. He might take one or two. Let's talk about this Maguire versus Alderweireld thing, because I started it this morning on Transfer Daily when I said that who would you prefer, Maguire or Alderweireld? And most people on the YouTube comments were saying they'd prefer Maguire, but then you go on Twitter and most people on Twitter are saying they'd prefer Alderweireld, which shows you the demographics of the different social medias. I mean, I prefer YouTube. I've always said that because you can type more in your comments, which means I get more of a understanding of your view in the comments here than on Twitter, which is a bit limited and Twitter's a bit, it's less about the point you're trying to make and more about trying to upset or attack somebody, isn't it? So, but yeah, so a lot of people on YouTube, the video this morning, comments saying they'd write Maguire, and a lot of people on Twitter saying they prefer Alderweireld. And to summarise the two arguments, so let me know in the live comments. Josh O'Connor's just made a contribution. Can we do a video on the youth, Mark? Love to hear your update on them all. Fozo, Axel, Angel, etc. I know Jozo isn't going to use them, but I'd love to know. Mate, it's really funny because there was a video that was meant to go up yesterday about the youth. It's ready to go up. It's going to go up tomorrow morning. As long as there's no bloody transfer news, it's going up tomorrow. In fact, I might just put it up tomorrow morning anyway. It was meant to go up yesterday lunchtime. It's ready, it's canned, it's about the youth, and it's good to go. So there's your answer. You're going to get one of those tomorrow. And I can't wait to see all your comments on that, actually, because it will be very subjective. But it's subjective about Maguire and Alderweireld as well, because you've got Maguire, who people on Twitter are basically saying, we've already got two young centre-backs, we don't need Maguire. Alderweireld's one of the best centre-backs in the world, there is no comparison. And then you've got people on Twitter saying, Alderweireld's coming towards the end of his career, he's way overpriced at 29 years of age, Harry Maguire can be a better player. So it's amazing that you get two different people saying different things, isn't it? So what do I think? Well, first of all, Harry Maguire's not young. He's 25. I mean, Lindelof and Bailly are slightly younger than that. But Harry Maguire's been playing first-team football for teams for a few years now, and he's had one season at Leicester, but he was at Hull before that. So him going to the England team kept out people like Phil Jones and Gary Cahill. Well, Phil Jones and Gary Cahill, or certainly Gary Cahill, could be mentioned in the same sentence as an Alderweireld anyway. So I think Harry Maguire is not a young development player at all. I think he's somebody you drop straight into your squad. So I would refute that personally and say, I don't think there's a world of difference between Harry Maguire and Toby Alderweireld. I mean, I think people sort of over-egg the pudding with Alderweireld, to be honest. I think he's a very good centre-back, but he was formerly at Southampton. He went to Spurs. He's done okay, but he's not won anything. And he's been part of defences that have been a little bit bottly. I mean, he's a good centre-back. I'd like him at Manchester United. Thanks for the contribution, Mohamed Nassim. He's a good centre-back. I like him, but he's not. I don't agree with this world-class statement. I don't know where that comes from. If you want to talk to me about someone like Rafael Varane or a Godin or a Sergio Ramos or a Bonucci, I'll have a debate about whether they're world-class or not. But Alderweireld's not world-class. I'd argue Alderweireld's not even Belgium's best centre-back. I don't think Vertonghen's far off him, and I certainly think Kompany's better. So I like Alderweireld. I'd welcome him to Manchester United, but I don't think the gap between him and Harry Maguire is that big. And I also think that Harry Maguire in a big club will only get better. It's a bit like Alderweireld's move from Southampton to Spurs. At Southampton, he was pretty much like Harry Maguire. People were looking at him and going, he can be a really good centre-back, a bit like Van Dijk. But then you put them at the big club and they go up a level. And I think that's what will happen with Harry Maguire. But as I said on Twitter, what Manchester United seem to do under Jose Mourinho, unfortunately, is we'll probably spend 60 million on Alderweireld, who's 29. Spurs will then use that money to sign Harry Maguire, who's 25. And then in 5 years' time, when Alderweireld's long gone, we'll probably give them another 60 million for Maguire so they can go and buy the next big thing. Because we seem to buy established players who are approaching 30 of our rivals instead of doing what we used to do and going to buy those players that can make that step up. But I'd prefer Maguire anyway, just because he's so good in the set piece situation, which Manchester United are absolutely terrible of. Could you do a video on Manchester United ladies, says Ryan Hill? No, I've got no knowledge on them, and I wish them all the best, but I'm not doing a video on Manchester United ladies. We're not going to cover Manchester United ladies, are we? So we're not going to do watch-alongs. We don't cover Manchester United youth in that way. So I think it's fantastic that Manchester United have got a ladies team. It's a long overdue. But I'm not getting involved in the stuff that's going on Twitter. Apparently, we've signed a lot of people who used to play for Liverpool and stuff. You know what? It's a totally different thing. It's a totally different thing. We needed it. It was long overdue. I don't know why it took so long. I'm certainly happy to mention them and how they're doing over the next couple of years. But we don't need to do a show on it. It's we don't do a show on England women, do we? Anything like that. All the best to them. My daughters play football, which is fantastic. But it's we're Manchester United and we're talking about Manchester United Football Club, and at the moment, for a lot of us, that means the men's team. It's not sexist, is it? It's just that's what we're interested in. But I do wish them all the best. Do you think Sandro and Bale is a good summer, says Mohammed Nassim? I think that Sandro to Manchester United would be a fantastic deal because we need to solve the left-back solution. I think Gareth Bale would be absolutely superb to come to Manchester United, but I don't know. Martial's given the number 10, Bale given number 11 at United, says King Renzel. Oh, well, you know what? If Gareth Bale came to Manchester United and we... If Bale came to Manchester United and we kept Martial, I would be very happy because that's the one thing I'm very, very concerned about. If we are in for Gareth Bale, that we might get rid of him. Hemreg says, I believe we've done our marquee signing for this summer in Sanchez. I think no more marquee signing will be done this summer. Thanks. You know what? And how does someone watch the pre-season tour online? Would the United stand do a watch along, says Ibrahim? We will be. I think it's 4 a.m. next Friday morning, so literally a week away. We do watch alongs for all the US tour games. Some of them are the early hours of the morning UK, some of them are like midnight. I think one of them's 10 o'clock at night. So we will do watch alongs, but it's MUFC TV if you're in the UK. They show every single game. That's where I'll be watching it anyway and doing the watch along from. So, yes, we will be doing that. It'd be very interesting about Manchester United if we do just bring in Fred and Dalot. I dread to think what's going to happen next season if we don't start really challenging for the title. Because if we put in another season like last year where the title's gone by Christmas, the club and Mourinho have got a huge problem, haven't they? They really have. I'm not stirring the pot. I don't need to stir the pot. In fact, I try to stir the pot the other way and keep people on the side of Mourinho. I get a lot of abuse for it, but I do try to because I know he's going to be our manager next year. I don't think there's anybody any better than him at the moment, and he should be given year 3. He's told us about his plan. I want to see the plan. I want to know what it is. And then if it fails, we can all say, you passed it, you wasted 3 years, you're not the special one anymore, get out. But at the moment, I still believe that this third year could be great. Low expectations. Who knows what could happen? It's really interesting to see. But if we don't buy players and we go into this next season playing the way we did last season, pulling the results in we did last season, there's going to be big, big trouble ahead, isn't it? It'll be the long goodbye, which we spoke about. Okay, great minds, Mark, says Andrew Rossi. Alexandro to Manchester United, Marcelo to Juventus, and David Alaba to Real Madrid, says Ryan Scipari. I don't know why that got deleted by Snaps. Maybe you can tell me later on Twitter. Check out... Prometheus, good idea. I'm going to speak to her about that anyway, so I'm not going to shout it out before I've spoken to her, but she's on the show on Sunday night, so we should be able to get some clarification on that. James Wilson says, Max, Tyler Borthwick-Jackson, I think they've just fell off the face of the earth. We don't hear anything about them anymore, but I don't think they're in any in Mourinho's plans, and I don't think they ever were. Pratik says, with the current squad, United won't be able to compete for the title, probably League Cup at the max. Well, it won't be good enough. And if Mourinho fails, his legacy is tainted, says Smooth Gaming. Yeah, look, if you could become Manchester United manager, you're going to be judged on winning a Premier League title. After Sir Matt Musby, how many years was it? Over 2 decades before we won a title. But every manager after Sir Matt Busby was judged on winning a title until Sir Alex Ferguson when he did it. And every manager that comes into Manchester United will be judged on whether they win Premier League titles. You're not going to be applauded for winning the League Cup and the FA Cup. You've got to win the title, and Mourinho will fail if he doesn't win the title. I have no doubt about that. So that's what he's being judged on. That's what needs to be delivered in year 3. I don't think there'll be a year 4. I think Mourinho may want one. I think Woodward and the board may want to give him one, but I don't think they realise if we have a season like last season, what's going to happen. I mean, I hear a lot of people saying there's a lot of people, there's the Brighton away game. They're already emailing people out for tickets, whereas normally it's very difficult to get away games. So that, it could also be because it's August and people are on holiday though. The season's going to be over by October, says John. I've got a funny feeling we're going to do okay this season. I don't think we'll win the title unless we make a couple of signings, but I've just got a funny feeling we might do better I think a lot of the players that didn't perform last year have got a lot of growth in them. Your Sanchez, your Pogbas. So I think that could be interesting as well. David Tapgun says Borthwick Jackson was never really that good anyway. I don't think we can win a title with the squad we have, says Sandeep. And English football is all about the Premier League title, says Get Brand Danis. Mourinho won't fail if he doesn't win the title, says Christian Sebastian Thomason. And do you think Michael Carrick being coach will change things, says Jack the skipper? It's whether Jose lets it, Jack. It's whether Jose lets the influence of these coaches change his mind, because they can train however they want. But if he still says, yeah, well, you can teach them to pass better, you can teach them to look up and find a longer pass, but ultimately I still want them to track back, get behind the ball and not press. That's going to come from the manager. And watching the coaching today, watching the coaching today on the telly, which the Manchester United YouTube channel put up, Jose's pointing out he's leading it. So yeah, we need just can't see us winning the title, says Stephen Diak. And well, if Mourinho leaves, we're not getting Conte, Valencia, no way. Do you think we are low in funds because Manchester United? Oh, what's happened to my mouse? Sorry. Do you think we're low in funds because Man United have invested in a women's team, says Aidan Healy? No, I'm going to say a flat no to that, because I'd hate that to be the case. Absolutely hate that to be the case, and I don't think it would be anyway. Bernardeschi's a good player, Mr. PC, but he went to Juventus last season, so he's not going to be leaving. And he's a very good player. Juventus have got a very good squad of players. They have. Make Zidane the new manager, says Kavish. Well, that's the thing, and that's the hope, isn't it? If Manchester United do have to get rid of Mourinho, that we would then bring in Zinedine Zidane. Anyway, a slightly shorter show today. I've got issues going on behind me that I've got to go and sort out. Nothing for you to concern yourselves about. But as you can see, I had to go pop away for a minute, so I need to go and sort that out. Otherwise, I would have carried on taking your questions the longer. I'll do that tomorrow night. We'll do a longer Q&A thing tomorrow night. But thanks everyone for watching. Please do drop a like on the video. Give us your thoughts on the Bale thing. Because interesting comments from him and his agent, both saying nothing's set in stone. We still need to negotiate. Interesting about Alderweireld and Maguire. Which side of the fence do you sit on now? It's still raging on. What would you go for? Would you go for the 25-year-old who I think's ready? Or would you go for the apparent 29-year-old who's missed half of the last two seasons and apparently is world-class, Alderweireld? Let us know what your thoughts are on that. And also, have you got any concerns? As I said, the last 3 years, we've not signed anybody when we've been on the US tour. Matic was signed on the 29th of July, so technically he probably was on the tour, but most of the last 3 seasons, we've only signed one more player after this date, the 13th of July. So we're going to have to go and break the mould a little bit, aren't we? Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you're new. I'll speak to you all soon.